How's it going, everyone? My name is Maximilian, and you're watching Episode 1 of Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, The Online Warrior.
It's over.
So it's finally out. Street Fighter 3 Third Strike finally gets a decent console port after so many years. For those that aren't very aware, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike has been on a couple of different consoles in the past, most notably the Dreamcast and the PlayStation 2. The Dreamcast version has had some issues, though. There was a lot of problems when it came to certain inputs on the Dreamcast version. I think that certain combos acted completely differently than they would in the arcade version. Like Genie Jin with Yoon was much different, and I actually was almost a different super on the Dreamcast. So it's nice to see that we're getting a faithful console port. The Anniversary Edition for PlayStation 2 was a really good port. It did a lot of things well, but there was like some of the real small timing was off. It was still the best thing that we possibly had, but having a full arcade perfect port of Third Strike is absolutely amazing. Like, I can't believe we're finally getting this, and in such a big package. Street Fighter 3 Third Strike Online Edition comes with a ton of features. There's an absolute ton of unlocks that you can get for the game, and the console code is arcade perfect. As well as it's supporting GGPO with a ton of other features, it's pretty much the best thing we could have for Third Strike. GGPO is an interesting thing to put on a console because I think it's the first console-based GGPO fighting game we've had. I think Final Fight had GGPO not too long ago, but I didn't get the chance to play it. But luckily, from my experiences right now, it's really good. I got the chance to play Hans, like you're seeing right now, which is a NorCal player. And he's pretty good at the game, and I had some chances to warm up with him, which is good. I don't want to warm up against people that are not, that are only okay at Third Strike, which is what's happening a lot in ranked. But GGPO felt amazing. There was very little input delay, and the gameplay was smooth, and if you have a good connection, it's gonna feel great. That's one thing you gotta realize, is that GGPO works the best when your internet is really good. And for those that played it on the PC, they know that this is the truth. If you have crappy internet, GGPO will not fix your crappy internet, so go to any lengths you can to make sure you have the best quality connection possible. But moving on to some of the gameplay, I'm going up against Hans still, and Hans has always been really good at Third Strike. He plays a mean Makoto, and from what I can recall, it's a lot of this gameplay is me warming up right now, and it's really weird. I had not played Third Strike this much, like in a single session, in several years. I think it's been since 2008, and that's really sad because my history with Third Strike, it pretty much is me playing this game for almost 8-9 years, or around that much time. And I think, to be honest, I've never put so much time into a single video game other than Third Strike. Like, I played Third Strike that much back in the day. From the console port of the Dreamcast to the PlayStation 2 one to playing in the game in the arcade, like, every single day while I was at college and going to a local arcade called Family Fun. Yeah, it's amazing, and the only thing I can compare Third Strike Online to, because I didn't play it that much on GGPO from the PC, is the Xbox One port of the Online Anniversary Edition for Street Fighter, which had Third Strike and it was online. By comparison, this is a godly feature of a game compared to that, because that was so bad back in the day. The only way you can get a decent game at all is if you played local players. And luckily enough, there were some pretty good local players in SoCal that actually played the game online, because there wasn't any other options back then. This is like 2004, maybe 2005. I can't remember the exact year. But having that by comparison, this game is amazing. It's amazing to see all the features so well represented and to play this game again, because to be honest, I really enjoyed Street Fighter 4 when it first came out. I liked the game a lot, but over time I couldn't really keep up, and there were some things about the game that ended up bugging me a lot about the overall play. As much as it being like a very footsie heavy, a lot of 50-50 situations, I'm not gonna like rank on Street Fighter 4 at all, because I still enjoy the game. I find it to be a lot of fun, but at high level tournament play, I can only go so far. I'm a really impatient Street Fighter, if you probably noticed. And Third Strike, for that matter, when it comes to, general play and ranked games and stuff like that, kind of favors that, especially with Ken. Ken was a character that I had been playing in Third Strike pretty much since its inception. Like, I remember starting off with Ryu, but not really knowing anything about the game until the game went online, and I started using Ken a bit more. And this is where my love for the character kind of came in. This is where Ken became my favorite character, was after using him in Third Strike for so many years. Over time, I learned how to pick up more characters along the lines of Oro. I think the second character I know best in this game is Dudley, Ryu or Denjin Ryu, and a few others. I picked up Q to an extent as well because he's such an awesome character. And I didn't learn too much of the cast, but I learned a good 5 or 6 characters. Yoon was one of them as well, but Yoon isn't exactly that hard to play. But yeah, my experience was kind of lost. Like, I loved Third Strike to death. When Street Fighter 4 came out, it was the new hotness. I was at Super Arcade when Street Fighter 4 was first out back in 2008, and at the time, Super Arcade was the only arcade in the entire United States that actually had SF4, but for like a couple of days, and then I believe Chinatown Fair got it much, or not too far after. And during that time, I was like, oh man, Street Fighter 4, and I started using Ken in 4, and was having a great time, having a blast, and the lines were huge to play SF4. Like, they were just like an hour long, and this gigantic 2-page list of dudes waiting. So what I did to pass the time is, instead of just watching everyone and recording matches, I went to play Third Strike. And man, it was extremely daunting that even after like a few weeks of playing SF4, that I could not play Ken in Third Strike. I was trying to step kick. I was trying to do things that, you know, I was trying to zone with fireballs. Dude, that does not work in Third Strike. You don't, you just don't do that. And it was so upsetting that I couldn't break the habit of Street Fighter 4 while playing Third Strike. And it bugged the hell out of me because I had played Third Strike for so long, and to realize, oh, I just lost all that information after so many years. It was extremely frustrating. But over time, I kind of stopped playing Street Fighter 4. I still enjoy the game casually every once in a while. It took me a while to adjust back to Third Strike. Like, I deliberately picked Ken a lot when I was first playing this evening, just to get used to the guy again, just to get back into the situations I was in before and learn all the stuff that made him good. With that, I'm pretty pleased. I'll be able to break the Street Fighter 4 cycle that I had and come back to Third Strike a little bit. Understand the flow, understand the parrying, understand how Third Strike works. And it's a lot of fun. And look at this moment that happens right here. I don't believe it. Stuff like that, like you're watching right now, is what makes Third Strike absolutely amazing. Full super parrying and stuff along those lines. I absolutely love it. It's totally awesome. Some of the stuff that you guys might want to learn if you're new to Third Strike, and I'd imagine if a lot of you guys started with Street Fighter 4, Third Strike's going to feel extremely alien, because Third Strike's a footsie game in really high-level competitive play, but in like casual online play and things along that nature, it's kind of parry heavy. People don't play too much of a zoning game. You kind of do what you want. You jump when you want. You throw fireballs when you want. You kind of do things as you know what makes your character good and when you can parry and when you can be defensive. Which is how I play. I don't play too footsie heavy a game, at least I don't think I do. I kind of like to play an in-your-face game an awful lot in Third Strike, and it really fits my playstyle. I like constantly rushing in, and I like rushing dudes down like crazy. And Ken in Third Strike fits my playstyle so well. It fits that a lot. So, for those that are getting used to it, parrying is going to seem extremely alien at first. I wouldn't say don't force it. Don't force your way into learning how to parry. I'd say take the approach of how you would take it if you were in Street Fighter 4. Play the game defensively. Don't try to parry absolutely everything. Parry a random fireball every once in a while, or an EX fireball to get used to multi-parries. But don't try to parry absolutely everything. I have a bad habit, and it's that I like to parry absolutely everything. I like to get flashy in Third Strike. I like to try to go for all that stuff. And I've noticed that in situations where I try to play defensively, I'll do better, but to be honest, I'm not having nearly as much fun. But for people that are just getting into this, casually practice parrying and just block stuff. For the beginning part of it, blocking stuff and being defensive in Third Strike is a really important asset to start getting used to becoming this game. The other thing to understand is that in Third Strike, you really got to understand which normals are the best for your character, because there are some garbage normals, just like Street Fighter 4, that you don't want to use, and throwing out random pokes and doing things like hit confirming and all those types of elements that are kind of in Street Fighter 4, they're really, really heavy in Third Strike. So, for new players, just take it easy. Find a character that you want to play. The whole cast of Street Fighter 3 Third Strike is a little goofy. Yoon and Chun-Li are ridiculously top tier in this game, like super top tier. Ken is really close, and like a close second, but Chun and Yoon are blatantly tied. They are so good it hurts. And if you have people that are good with those characters, it's very hard to do much against them. But if you're looking for a good character just to jump in there, Ryu isn't bad. Ken is a good guy to start off with. But I'd also say Dudley isn't bad either. Dudley's a good base character that you can just start playing with. But guys like Alex, guys like Sean, guys like Hugo, and Ibuki, they're kind of technical. They take a certain caliber of skill and patience to be good with. For now, there wasn't any ranked matches in here because the ranked system right now in Third Strike is a little bugged. It's extremely hard to get matches, and I would search for the matter of like 20 minutes and not get anything. But until next episode, we'll actually be getting in legit ranked matches. We'll get some real gameplay in here, but for now, this is just a warm-up, and this is just getting reacquainted with a game that I had forgotten from so long ago, and absolutely love again. So, Third Strike is a blast, folks. Get it if you can. Thanks for watching the first episode of Third Strike: The Online Warrior, and I'll see you guys next time.